The all-shaving whiter man. Apparently this movie isn't very popular around the web. That was a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming. You got a problem with that? There's the— Oh God, I ran into the other recording. This movie is fucking awesome. What, did you think I was gonna say dumb? Well, what a coincidence, because this movie's also fucking dumb. But hey, I'm the kind of person that can respect a terrible thing if it indulges wholeheartedly in its terribleness. Ever tried watching red asphalt in slow motion? Some fine bits of strange smeared across that gravel. But in all seriousness, Spider-Man is my favorite super something. I find him really relatable for some reason. A scrawny, sarcastic honky whose main power is to use his hands to shoot white sticky stuff everywhere? That sounds absolutely nothing like me. Anyway, let's get into it. The movie starts off with Spider-Man's parents leaving him forever, which is already a good start because people won't be bothering me to make Marcus's dad jokes. It then cuts forward in time to before Spider-Man is Spider-Man, but after Spider-Man is People-Man. And as a People-Man's people name starts with a P. Both of them. So despite being a pretty chill dude, Peter Pocket is picked on by everybody, and also makes record time getting his ass kicked in the first 5 minutes. I mean, it's kinda lame because high school, but trust me, I've seen that done much worse. So after obvious love interest girl tells him it was pretty awesome how he got his nuts kicked into the back of his asshole, Peter Piper goes home to his aunt and uncle's house to see that it is flooded with water. That's flooded with water if you don't talk like a fucking retard. So he goes up to the attic to fix it and finds a folder that used to belong to his dad. God damn it. And it has old document from science. Pepperoni Pizza sneaks into the science lab that his dad used to work for, but not anymore because dead. And accidentally stumbles into the biocable development unit. It's an honest mistake. Those biocable development units, they're just so easy to stumble into. They should put up a sign or something that says biocable development unit. I mean, they do, but fuck it, I still stumble into them. So Piccolo Pete gets bitten by a spider, and it's finally time to Spider-Man shit. So the first thing he does is immediately accidentally Spider-Man some girl's shirt off and then beats up a subway car full of people. Then comes home and eats all the food. But then since he's too Spider-Man for his bathroom appliances, he decides to go to Armless Doctor. He has one arm and then he's got a little stuff. He doesn't have any fingers. And then Porta Potty shows Armless Doctor a paper and it has formula. And then Armless Doctor says,
I have but one arm, and it would ever so very much like if you visited me after school.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about school. So Pudding Pop goes back to school and the douchebag that beat him up before is being an asshole yet again on the b-ball court. He tries to basketball some cunt on the Glee team, but then Peter Pan wishes the basketball into his hand and then does a mad dunk that shatters the backboard. And then he gets sent to the principal's office and the principal is like, "This is unacceptable. Our school has a policy against sick dunks of this magnitude." And Dunkle Ben is like, "Boy, is this true? You know how we white people feel about hella dunking." And then after doing gnarly skateboarding tricks and breakthroughing science, Potato Pancakes is like, "You're not my real dad!" and runs away. And then he tries to buy chocolate milk, but the guy at the register is like, "You can only leave a penny. You cannot take a penny." But then a robber comes and he's like, "Don't worry, bro, I got this." Then he robs the store and gives Spider-Man his milk. But then on the way out, he trips over Uncle Ben, so he has to shoot him. And from that day forth, Spider-Man vows to thank that guy for the milk and then get revenge. So somewhere along the process of pathologically tracking down gentlemen with long, fair blonde hair and then beating them into submission while saying, "Thank you for the lactose product, but I do not appreciate the killing my uncle part," Popper's Penguins decides to officially be a Spider-Man. And the police take notice and try to arrest him on charges of being fabulous. Meanwhile, Dr. Armless injects the math into himself, and he grows slippery arm. Then love interest girl invites fuck it, I'm just gonna call him People-Man from now on when he's not Spider-Man. Then love interest girl invites People-Man over to eat fish. It occurred to me to make a vagina joke there, but the correlation between vagina and fish, I never really got behind it. I mean, I get it, but I don't believe that it's— What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so People-Man goes over to her house and finds out that her dad is the chief of police. And he's like, "I bet that Spider-Man boy's gay." And People-Man's just like, "He's not gay! Get out." So People-Man goes out to the roof and love interest girl is like,
I'm sorry, my dad is a dickhead.
And People-Man's like, "It's not just that, he also call me gay, baby." And she's all,
Oh my god, you're Spider-Man, tongue my butthole.
and he's just like, "Yeah, as much as Spider-Man would like to do that, Spider-Man's gotta go stop a dinosaur or something." Oh, by the way, did I mention that Dr. Armless turned into a giant lizard because that happened? Luckily, Spider-Man arrives on the scene and then kicks him in the chest and instantly forgets about him to do something else. And then the next day when he's eating breakfast, he's like, Oh shit, the fucking dinosaur! So he goes to Professor No Arms and is like, let's say there was like a giant lizard running around. What would be the repercussions of that? And he responds with,
It would fuck up a bitch if one were to ask ever so many questions.
Oh, okay. Hey, wait a minute, you seem to know an awful lot. So People Man goes to the police, and he's like, one-armed doctor turned into a dinosaur, and now he's gonna eat everyone's penises! And the police chief is like, you're talking crazy, boy. Giant reptiles? That's ridiculous. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got a job to do. I want everyone in this precinct looking for Spider-Man! So Spider-Man figures if there's anyone that's gonna kill a dinosaur, it's gonna be him. Or, you know, extinction. So he goes into the sewer and shoots his goo everywhere until the lizards come. And then the big lizard bee's there. And Spider-Man's like, you got scales and shit. I'ma fuck you anyway. So then they fight in the sewer water, and then the poop gets in Spider-Man's eye, and he falls out of the sewer because of the poop. But he leaves his camera because he wanted to get a picture with the lizard because he was his biggest fan. And the camera has his name on it, so the lizard knows who he is. So the next day at school, the lizard comes in and tries to beat up Spider-Man. But if you hadn't heard, Spider-Man knows how to lay the smack on a bitch. So after Spider-Man lays the smack on a bitch, the lizard runs away, and Spider-Man follows him underground and finds his secret lab. And he listens to a recording where Dr. One-Arms is like,
Everyone must be lizards!
Oh! So Spider-Man goes to save the day, but the police shoot him with tasers. And then the police chief takes his mask off and he's like, oh, son of a bitch, Spider-Man, did you fuck my daughter? And Spider-Man is like, no. But yo, you remember that dinosaur? He gonna kill her and shit. Spider-Man gotta go save the day. So the police chief's like, let the Spider-Man go. And then Spider-Man goes and gets the crap beat out of him. Hooray! But then the police chief shows up and shoots the fuck out of the lizard. And he's like, you know, Spider-Man, for someone who said you were gonna save the day, you're kinda crap at it. By the way, my daughter gave me this saving the day formula. She said you were one of those queers that knows math. And Spider-Man is like, I know I'm gonna divide that bitch's legs. But before he can object, the police chief is stabbed by the lizard tail. And then Spider-Man puts the turn everything not into a lizard serum into the turn everything into the lizard serum slot. And that gets dispersed on the city. And everyone is not turned into lizards. Because, you know, when the turn into lizard juice isn't dispersed, we totally need to not turn into lizards. You know, you can never be too careful with all the turning into lizards that goes around these days. The gay flu, they used to call it. But anyway, then the lizard doesn't turn into a lizard, so he turns into a guy with one arm. And then Spider-Man's about to fall, and the guy with one arm saves him. And then Spider-Man goes up to the police chief, and with his dying words, he's all, Spider-Man, don't fuck my daughter. And Spider-Man's like, how about I'm gonna fuck your daughter? And then Spider-Man fucks everyone's daughters. And nobody liked this movie. Except for me, because I thought it was funny and don't have a daughter. The end.